And I'm Stephen.
And together
We are
Wagtail
our utopian
Dream.
I wanted to do that, wouldn't we?
Yeah. So, a bit of a different slant for the video this time, because we've talked about buying Wagtail, our narrowboat, our 47-foot tugboat, and also securing a mooring at Reedley Marina.
Which we were really lucky to get that.
Yes. So, living on a narrowboat has always been Stephen's lifetime ambition. And the crunch came last year for me, because I have a house that we're currently living in, when Stephen said, I can afford to buy a narrowboat, I want to go and live on it. So that gave me a lot of food for thought, whether I wanted to live on a narrowboat too.
Yeah.
But we get on so well, don't we?
We do, and like you said, it's obviously I was in a good position in so much as I'd kind of taken early retirement.
Yeah.
And I got a lump sum, and it weren't a huge lump sum, but it did mean that I could afford a narrowboat of sorts, but not like a really posh one. One that, I'm not saying a project boat, but I suppose it was a project boat.
It was really, but at the time we didn't see it as a project boat,
No.
because we had a survey and everything.
Yeah,
it looked good to a degree on the survey.
And past advice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of a boat, if you've got a good hull and you've got a good engine, then pretty much everything inside can be done, can't it?
Yes, yes.
So that's what we did.
So I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought, you know what couldn't be nicer than waking up in the morning and hearing the birds singing, being in beautiful countryside and just enjoying life.
It's just a different world, isn't it,
Yeah.
really?
And being with Stephen as well.
You deserve a medal for that, but because you know, like for people who don't have a boat, you know, if you've got a canal nearby or within travelling distance, just walking along a towpath,
Yeah.
there's something about water, you know what I mean? And most people we've found have been really, really friendly. And if you've got a question, that they do tend to
help you.
yeah, and they'll answer you.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it, is the fact that, I suppose, go back in time, like with communities, you had that type of, didn't you, where you knew people and people
Yes.
would help.
Yeah.
Where maybe we've lost that, but certainly on the canals we still seem to have it.
Yes,
And
definitely.
that really appeals to me, the fact that most people are really friendly and they will help you. You know what I mean? They might not do it for you, but they'll show you, and then, you know what I mean, you can like pass it on, can't you?
You can.
So,
And I wanted to experience the freedom, and I thought, you know what, we're at a time of life, we should be enjoying life.
yeah.
We've been through quite a bit between ourselves, haven't
Oh
we?
God, you know, like
You know,
stress into it, you know, like modern living into it, jobs,
with jobs,
you know, like
with
shift work.
previous maybe relationships.
Maybe said that together, didn't we?
But this relationship is so different because we respect each other,
Yeah.
and we take each other's feelings into
Yeah,
consideration.
and we listen. I think listening is a big one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might wake up one day, I'm not saying you'll have a disagreement, but if you can kind of reach middle ground,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Because maybe some relationships people wake up every day and you know what I mean? But I'm just saying sometimes it might be one person's had a bad day or something's happened. And the thing is, it's like you get to know the other person and
Yes,
you know, you can tell if they're feeling down, can't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not hard. That's the thing. You don't have to pretend. You can just be honest. You know what I mean? And you kind of look out for each other and watch each other's back,
That's
don't you?
correct, yeah.
It's amazing, really.
Which is
you know what I
lovely
mean?
to have,
Yeah, it
which,
is.
you know, makes a big difference.
Yeah, because I keep joking, and you know, Anne's going to laugh at this. Because when I was younger, growing up, he had a beard. I used to watch Grizzly Adams, and I used to have really long hair and a beard. And I keep joking to Anne that when I move on to the boat, I'm going to grow a beard. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Be a bit tickly when I kiss you.
Well, that's it. And I keep joking that in the beard I'll have these dreadlocks. You know what I mean?
So,
Oh, it's funny.
I decided then
Yeah.
I didn't want to keep the house. We needed to put the house on the market because it would put extra financial strain on me.
But the boat was paid for.
Yes,
It's not as if
which
we're
is a big
selling the
thing.
house to buy the boat.
Yeah, big thing.
Obviously, with my lump sum, it did mean that we could buy the boat outright and still have some money to do it up, so to speak, to get it
Yes.
through the boat safety certificate.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we did.
So we looked at the house, and to be fair, it did need some work on it because when I bought it, I have done quite a bit on it.
Yeah, it's a nice house.
It is a nice house, but it needed some tender loving care, which is what we've been giving it, but it needed a bit more tender loving care.
It's quite big, isn't it? Three
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah.
You've got 2 bathrooms and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which is quite, and it's quite a nice outlook, really.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and a corner plot, which means you've got a bit of land and garden aside, haven't you?
Yes. So, and we had lots of clutter as well. We had to look
God.
at the rooms to see how we would deal with that.
Yeah, because, you know, in terms of clutter, obviously originally when I met Anne, I was living in a flat
Yes.
at Walston, weren't I?
Yes.
And I'd collected a large, let's just say a large amount of stuff over my lifetime. I'm now 56, but I've always been an avid collector. And it could be anything. It could be books. It could be negatives. I've got a really old-fashioned 1970s record player, Fidelity. You know, it could be LPs. I've even got some original cassettes that I bought as a kid. And then later in life, then obviously when you pass your car test, I've collected a few classic cars.
Yes.
You know, and you know, let's just say my love is Morris Minors. Yeah, and like I say, you know, like my whole life, ever since really I was at school, I've loved the Morris Minor, and especially the Traveller, which had like the wooden frame at the back. I absolutely loved them. In later life, I was in a position that I could get one. And when I say I got them, these weren't immaculate cars that were worth a fortune. These were cars that were a bit, again, like kind of a project car, weren't
Yeah,
they?
they were,
That needed
yeah,
TLC, but there was potential.
Yeah.
And over a period of time, and I'm asked, would you believe 3 Morris Minors? Which is a little bit greedy, but like you say, I hastened to had. They weren't expensive, but they were projects.
They weren't, no.
First one I got, which again, my all-time favourite model, 1964 Morris Minor Traveller, which is a station wagon with a wood, and that needed a bit of work, but got that through an MOT. And then the second one, remember, 1968 6 cubic weight van, and I've got fond memories when I was younger having a van. And it was kind of lovely to revisit that, to scratch that itch, so to speak. And the last one I got, which I'll be honest, I still wish I had it, because you know it was incredibly rare, and that's a 1949 Series MM Morris Minor Saloon. And like you say, it was very early production, and you know they've all gone. I've had to let them go because, like with that particular one, and I must hasten to hand, it's not a downside to your house.
No.
But we didn't have a garage, did we?
We didn't, no, unfortunately.
Like parking laybys at the front of the house, and
Yeah.
a car like that had to be garaged.
Yeah.
So as soon as I bought that, I was paying, we managed to find some other garage, and we were paying for that per month. And really when you start thinking about it, one, you can't use, because bearing in mind I had a car, so do you really need 4 cars? So being realistic, as much as I loved them, and we had joined the Morris Minor Owners Club, hadn't we, and we attended the branch meeting,
Yes.
that when we made this decision that we were going to move on a boat, I had to be realistic, and one by one, because he even said that we'll just list them all and see which sells first, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
You know, and I ironically, you know, the one what sold first, was it the Series MM?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, ironically, the one I probably would have liked to have kept sold first, and then it was the van, and finally the Traveller.
Yeah.
So, you know, and on top of that, certainly with the Series MM, the 1949, I'd collected a good few spares for that, because they had to get all the bits. So anyway, cars are now gone, so I'm kind of carless, and I'm now actively selling the parts, aren't I?
You are.
So-
So Stephen is a bit of a collector. So if he sees a bargain, he'll buy it. And
It's kind of an understatement, isn't it?
we had a whole bedroom full of stuff. Didn't
Yeah, and this, I won't get on, I know you could talk about hoarding, but when you've amassed a lifetime collection, because obviously I've been in canals since like 14, you know, and you know, like be it inferior, be it, because I was also equally as interested in old derelict railways, so I've collected not only inferior like canal documents, a cast iron sign,
Yeah.
lots of canal books,
Yeah.
but I also got a lot of derelict railway stuff.
Yeah.
Be it the old railway tickets from long closed railway stations, be it original negatives where I still retain the copyright for future use, be it magazine articles, books. You know, and it's a lifelong collection. But you know, if you've been contemplating and moving on a narrowboat, it's only 47 foot long.
Well, that's the thing, and we are very aware of the space on the narrowboat.
And what you don't want to be doing is like you said, if you're at a point where the main bedroom of Anne's house was literally full up of my clutter, and when I say clutter, obviously lots of value in it.
Yeah.
But we can't possibly take all that stuff with us.
No.
So obviously this stuff had to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I suppose this is where we get on to like, how do we declutter?
Well, I still have got some stuff to get rid of, but I had to work on my stuff as well. We both like collecting stuff. Now, I love collecting 50p coins, and I've done that for at least 10 years now. And new ones especially. So I thought, I've got to hit eBay and start selling them. Well, luckily some of them had gone up in value, and it did pay a few bills, didn't it, really? Because I can't take stuff like that on the boat. I'm very wary of security as well on the boat. Well, yeah,
in terms of the job I used to do as well. And I must add, you know, which I've not mentioned, obviously, like as a youngster, my mum used to love going in charity shops.
Oh, yes.
And that kind of reflected on me in later life. That I'd be going in charity shops because it reminded me of mum, which, you know, and then you'll see, oh, that's a bargain. But is it a bargain when you don't actually need it?
Yeah.
And before you know it, you've got this much stuff. And I got into that bad habit where I used to, well, I've kind of weaned out of it now, but I used to collect magazines, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Because I'd get Waterways World, I'd get Canal and Riverboat, I'd get, you name it, I was buying it. But the mistake I was making, once I'd read it, I then put it to one side, and you can imagine over decades how many magazines you had.
Yeah.
So what I do now is including a book. If I'm reading a book, once I've read it, I'll donate it.
Yes.
I still like watching the odd DVD.
Yes.
And ironically, recently I got a Rocky box set, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because I like Rocky. But I've been good this time. As soon as I watched, there were 6 DVDs on that, all the Rocky films. As soon as I got to the end, that is now in a charity box.
It is, yeah.
So I've kind of learnt my lesson.
Yeah.
And like you said, certain objects have probably got very little in monetary value, and they probably go into the charity box. And do you want to mention about this charity box, because I might think what we're talking about.
So
you know,
we were lucky enough. It was about 3 years ago when you first moved in, wasn't it?
Time goes quick when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Because Stephen thought, well, I'll sort some of my stuff out. Because I need to get rid of some stuff anyway. And I don't know, was it a leaflet through the door or something?
Yeah, which was surprising really, because like up to that point we had been going to like Ossett, where we live, and there's a couple of charity shops in there and donating stuff. But that leaflet was quite useful to us, wasn't it?
Because it was a door collection. So if you book a collection and you get all the charity stuff ready, they do tell you what they'll take and what they won't take. I put it out on a Friday, they come round and collect it, and that has been invaluable.
But you've got to book it, haven't you?
You've got to book it, but it saved us so much time of going to and from the charity shop.
Yeah, and parking, because sometimes it's difficult to park on market days in Ossett, isn't it? But yeah, if you can put 4 boxes out, and they'll tell you when they're coming, and then you can imagine 4 boxes full of stuff.
Yeah.
It's out the house.
Yeah.
And it's going to a good cause, isn't it?
So when we're sorting, we tend to have a box, don't we?
Yeah.
And if there's anything we can't sell online, or we don't think it's worth the effort of selling online, we'll donate it. And then we fill up the boxes that way. And it's surprising how quickly you fill a box up.
Yeah, and the other thing we started doing is, you know, like, I don't know why I used to save all bank statements. You know, it's shredding. A shredder, I've had it quite a long time, but it's invaluable, isn't it?
Yes.
Because obviously, like, there's certain things you don't want someone copying your identity. So I have shredded a lot of stuff, and the shredding then goes in the recycling bin. So it's like a win-win and win, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So when we were putting the stuff in the charity box, and we've been making piles, what we can sell and where, because there's different online stores, isn't there? There's
eBay's the obvious one.
Yeah, Vinted is the new one really, and also Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace has been great, hasn't it? Really,
it has, yes.
Certainly in the car parts.
Yes.
You know, it's done really well for us, hasn't it?
And the thing is, with Facebook Marketplace, you don't have to pay anything to
which
advertise.
Is free, which is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, whereas eBay can get very expensive.
Yeah, they take their cut, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. So we've had to sort of like weigh all that up as well, where would be best to sell. And you'd be surprised on, there's different type of buyers on the different marketplaces as well. Yeah. You get one certain on eBay and then you get somebody else on Marketplace.
Yeah, and the other people on Vinted, isn't there?
Yeah,
but we've been kind of using all them sort
of... Yes.
I don't know, call them social networks, but we've been using them all, and certain things will sell well on one.
Yes.
Where probably not necessarily on another.
On the other. So it's all trial and error.
Mm.
So if you're ever thinking to declutter, and to be fair, it's so freeing, isn't it?
Oh God, well that's the thing about it, and I find that it's like you said, all these car spares. Now the cars have gone, there's no point in keeping these spares which we're keeping. And like I said, I'll be honest, over the last few days I've listed 50 separate items, haven't I?
You have, yeah.
All individual spares, which I'm really proud of. Because not only have you got to take the photograph, you've got to do your research, see how much these are selling for, if available on eBay, and then you've got to like list them.
Yeah.
So it is quite time consuming, but what I started doing is there's a kitchen table in the kitchen obviously, and I take 3 or 4 items in and then just start with one. Once I've done that and listed, put it at one side and do it that way. Because if you're trying to list 50 in one go, it's overpowering, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You know, you kind of, I get annoyed at myself for collecting so much, but, to be fair, in many instances, I got stuff cheap, and I sold it double my money, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Sometimes it's knowing what, certainly in the most minor world, I had some van rims, which, again, on the special, genuine ones, and I'm not saying I doubled my money, but I made a healthy profit, didn't I?
Yeah,
and they've gone to a good home, which is great.
Yeah.
Out the door, so to speak.
Yeah. So, as I say, it's so freeing.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I've been doing the same. As part of my sort of self-employment here, I've done a lot of mind, body and spirit fairs, and I've been selling angel, oracle and tarot cards, and I've amassed a great collection of those as well.
Well, you have. I'm always surprised, because as you come through the front door at Anne's house, you've got like a separate bedroom, ain't you?
Yeah.
So bedroom, bathroom, and then you've got like this other cupboard. And you go in there and it's like card heaven, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yes. But I'm slowly working my way through it. But you know what? That's my guilty pleasure, I'm afraid. I just love the pictures on angel cards. They're so beautiful.
But they are, and the thing is, you're using them, aren't you? But the fact that you've never started reducing.
I'm having to, yeah.
Because like originally you'd be buying all the time, weren't you?
Yeah.
And now you've kind of reduced that.
Yes.
And it's thinking, like Anne said, it really is freeing, you know what I mean? Because, like, I don't suppose anyone sets out to have a cluttered home.
No.
But if you're not embarrassed, but if you don't want to bring people in certain rooms because it's full.
Yeah.
Because it's like recently, like with tradesmen and that, isn't it?
Yes.
I've been a little bit embarrassed that you go in that room and you can't get through the door because it's all my stuff in there.
Yeah.
And it might be worth... Because the other thing, like when I was younger, I was into was a thing called micronauts.
Yes.
Like from the 1970s. And I kind of not fell back into that trap, but I saw a niche, and I started like
selling them.
Yeah, buying bits when they come up cheap, and then trying to make complete toys and then selling them on.
Yeah.
And I was doing quite well, but the problem is I've ended up with a lot of spares, haven't I?
Yes.
And I can't possibly take all this on the boat.
So we will have to have a mass purge, but we're just gently working our way through it. And we're, every day we're doing something, aren't we?
Yeah, we never stop, do we, really?
No.
There's loads of stuff going on behind the scenes, and what you don't want to do is bore people, you know what I mean? But this is just kind of like an overview, a flavour.
Yes.
Because there must be a million people who've done this before us. There's a lot of people who at some point in the future think, I quite fancy buying a canal, but I fancy living on it. And in the same predicament, you've got a house, you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
So you either put it in storage, don't you?
Yes.
Or you've got to get rid of it.
That's right. And that's what we've done. We've had to do.
You've no choice, have we, really?
Because we had to set ourselves deadlines.
Yep.
and I needed to put this house on the market by a certain date, and we were working towards it, weren't we?
Yeah, and you were doing lots of work, but you also bringing tradesmen in when you
Yeah,
needed them.
I was, which I will discuss about on another vlog. But anyway, to meet this deadline, there was no way we were going to get rid of all our clutter.
Again, because it takes time to list.
Yeah.
So bearing in mind, we're thinking like potential viewings, like what do we? You can't have one room full of stuff. So we kind of thought about it, and then we thought, just initially, we might have to rent a small space in a unit in Wakefield.
Yes, and luckily for us, this particular storage place was running a special offer for us.
Which was great, wasn't it? Really, and in terms of price, how much was it?
It was 50% cheaper.
Yeah, 50% off, and have we got it for 3 months?
Yes.
But obviously, at the end of the 3 months, if we've not emptied that unit, it goes up, doesn't it?
It does. It'll be full price.
So since having the unit, I've been going down on a few occasions now, and
You have.
bringing stuff back and then getting rid of it.
Yes.
So it is going down. So it's not that we've got a unit because we want to keep this stuff. It's just we didn't want to have a viewing where you've got all this clutter.
That's right. So then, you speak to other boaters, and quite often they keep a unit.
Yeah.
We don't want to, do we, really?
No, we don't, because again, because the other thing, Gad, as well, which I know I've not mentioned, is guitars, innit?
Oh, yes.
I had a couple of guitars,
yes.
And I had 2, which meant a lot to me. But I had to let one go. I don't need to.
No.
So I've had to let one of them go, haven't I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I am keeping one, and I am getting back into my guitar again.
You are. You're going to.
Going to new songs.
Yeah.
I suppose it's just being in that creative headspace.
Yes.
And every time I go to Wagtail, even though work's ongoing at the moment internally, I can actually breathe.
Yeah.
And I relax and I start to chill. I know I've been there. I know we're going to talk about this, but like when I've stopped in it for a few nights previously on the Facebook Marketplace camp bed, which I've now sold and gone.
Yes.
I'm becoming really creative again. And in terms of my writing, it just flows.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's like a lifelong ambition. I love water. I love the nature. The people are friendly. You've got the countryside. You've got nice walks. And I couldn't imagine living anywhere else, really.
No. And that's the thing, Stephen's always been a creative person.
I always have.
But when I first met him, there was a lot of stuff that had gone on.
I went in a good place.
No,
really,
you weren't, but you hid it well.
Yeah,
but then
as
we got to know each other, I got to find out more and more what had gone on, really.
Yeah. Which we won't go into too much, but it wasn't always nice, was it?
No.
It wasn't nice.
But really, all your creativity had gone out the window, hadn't it?
Well, predominantly because I know we've talked about it on a previous episode, but when I was younger, like at primary school, I was coming up with really good poems, weren't I?
Yeah.
And I wasn't. Should I say it again, just for people who have not heard it?
Well, you can do, yeah.
Yeah, because like I say, you can imagine. I think it was it 7 or 8?
Yes.
So we're talking. Just say it was 1978, and this one particular lesson, and the teacher asked you to come up with a poem about something that interested you.
Yeah.
And I had a genuine interest in the countryside, the outdoors, and I really liked English. And like you say, I'll say it now, but you've got to remember, I was coming up with this at the age of 7, 8. And this is my poem, and I've never forgot it. And it's called The Countryside. The countryside, so green and fresh. The air, so clean and cool. The mountain streams go flowing on. They twist and turn on rocky ground, then depart once more to reservoir. The farmer walking with his dog in the distance disappears. The sun has gone. The wind is here. Another day slips slowly by. And you've got to remember, for a 7 or 8-year-old to do something like that. And when I did it and I said it, everything stopped.
Yeah.
The teacher's jaw dropped to the floor. Everyone went quiet. And it was just ironic that at that point the bell went and everyone. But it's not me being big-headed, but whatever it was, I had it.
Yeah.
I was very creative, and in later years, some of that poetry evolved into song lyrics.
And you've kept all those, and
I've kept them all. Yeah, I've
dated all the ones that you've written.
That's the thing. What I'm trying to say is, like, I do struggle a bit with OCD. I always have done.
Yeah.
So if I came up with a new song idea, and this is a point here, and I know we're kind of digressing slightly, but every time I come up with something, I put a date on it.
Yeah, you do.
Later on, like I was not only singing the melody, and the lyrics and the chorus into a dictation machine. But I also said in today's day is so we can prove when I wrote these songs.
Yeah.
And we'll have another conversation about this later, but I am still creative. I'm still coming up with these songs. You know, yeah, I'm not the best guitarist, but I'm competent. I know the basic chords. You know, like songs like Lost in the Forest. I came up with this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, more recently I've got back into it, didn't I? On holiday. Remember on holiday, you know, there was no reason for it on holiday. I was feeling creative in the caravan, and I sang all these songs that I'd come up with.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is, a poem is okay, and a poem can become lyrics, but it's only when you put a melody in, your unique melody, that it becomes a song. If you've got a melody, you've got verses, you've got a chorus, it's a song. And then later on, if you put basic chords to it, it becomes more of a song. But I'm still creative, I'm still enjoying it.
So that's more stuff we're sorting through
you know,
at the moment.
and that's the point. I've got lots and lots and lots and lots of files, not only files with lyrics and songs, but lots of mini dictation machine tapes that I've still got that show when I wrote these songs. And this is a decade before I eventually got into bands. So we'll leave it there.
So that's part of our decluttering. There's lots more to discuss with you, but we'll be on again next week with another, what our process of getting onto a narrowboat, won't we, Steve?
Yeah, and like I said, we hope you've enjoyed this, you know what I mean, because we do, we like it, don't we? We like coming on, we like chatting, and hopefully people find some benefit in it.
Yes.
Because like you say, a million people have done it before us. They've had to declutter, they've bought boats, we're going through it now before we can move on a boat. But for certainly people in the future who are deciding they don't want to live in a house anymore, they want to do an alternative lifestyle, hopefully they will find this information helpful, and then they can make their own mind up if it's for them.
Totally.
So at that, I suppose we better say
bye.
Goodbye. And thanks for listening.
Thank
if
you.
you enjoyed it, please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you.